All right, we have breaking economic news to bring you. Statistics Canada says international travel for June saw a 3.6% increase compared to last year. Angie Seth has been looking into the numbers and joins us now. Hi, Angie.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Great to see you, too. It's been a while.
Exactly. We're not going to try to catch up on air. Let's talk about these statistics. Did the World Cup influence this number at all?
So it's interesting, and I think a lot of people were looking at that. What is the month of June going to look like with, of course, these, 13 games that were happening here in Toronto as well as Vancouver, 15 countries coming from overseas. So, yes, we did see an increase there with regards to that travel, 32.5% compared to 2025. And with the World Cup coming around, that's sort of good news on that front. If we can kind of break it down by some of the countries there, Australia, for example, arrivals from Australia peaked on June 12th. That, of course, ahead of their match in Vancouver. We saw a lot of people coming from Panama. Toronto was inundated. That peaked on June 16th before their match happening in Toronto. And Germany as well. We saw a peak of arrivals coming in from Germany on June 19th before their match in Toronto as well on June 20th. Overall, though, we're looking at overseas arrivals in Canada up 5.1%. Of course, mostly those coming in by air, then some coming in by car, but sort of seeing a bit of that increase. Chris, good news there, not massive increases there, but a lot of people hoping to say, did the World Cup do some of what it was hoping to do? And we're going to parse through other numbers, but travel-wise, we did see that increase.
Okay, let's talk about travel to the U.S. because I'm recalling a very recent campaign out of California. Yes. I believe there was one in the U.S. as well, just begging for Canadians to come back.
Yeah.
Are they
the marketing campaigns, right? Come visit us.
Exactly. We love Canadians. I hear it all the time.
Yeah. Well, we did see some increases as well, which is, very, very significant, sort of seeing what the political landscape is around this. But return trips from the United States was up 3.2% from last year. The third consecutive month year-over-year increase. A rise driven by an increase in return trips from the U.S. by car. So a lot of people going over the border. That was up about 5.2%. A decrease, however, by air. So, Chris, we're still seeing a little bit of that pull away from traveling, or I guess flying to the United States, a decrease of 3.8%. U.S. resident trips to Canada did increase by 5.1%. I know it's a lot of numbers here, but they are relatively significant. Again, the fifth consecutive increase of Americans coming to Canada, a year-over-year increase. And again, when we're looking at comparison by air versus vehicle, an increase by vehicle of 7.6%. Again, we saw a bit of a decrease by air of the U.S. residents coming to Canada. So interesting. I mean, we're not where we used to be, right? If we compare from last year, et cetera, we're seeing an increase. If we compare from, I guess, regular years, we're not where we used to be, but we are seeing a bit of an uptick. So we'll take the good news.
Yeah. But Canadians still saying, hey, not so fast, right? No, we're not going down south too quickly. Thank you so much for that,
You're
Angie.
welcome.